Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this morning. Hope it finds you well this Sunday morning. Celtic are currently top of the league, looking down on Aberdeen and Dundee United. Let's hope it stays that way the rest of the weekend. Anyway, whilst we want to talk about all the good things about yesterday and some of the not good things in the first half, I thought, we need to talk about Celtic TV. Yes, Celtic rolled out the carpet for this new platform and this new dawn with Celtic Television. And as a supporter that watches from afar, like thousands and thousands do, if Celtic want to big up the fact that there are Celtic fans all around the world, they need to get their number one platform absolutely perfect before putting it out to the public. Yesterday saw Celtic TV crash more than ever before, and it was to sound like Tavernier, it was disappointing. And it was more than disappointing. It was a bit of a pain in the arse, to be honest. People did take to social media during the game yesterday to vent their anger over the fact that people around the world do pay good money for Celtic TV. And at points, they were put up with uplink. We'll be back shortly. It's just not good enough, Celtic. For it to keep cutting out the way it did yesterday, people all around the world pay good money for this. The people that go to games are going to say, "Well, fuck, who cares?" You know, it's we go to the games, we pay our money, and it's as simple as that. But Celtic do want to build this online platform, and they want to make it one of the, in the forefront of TV and everything good about Celtic. Now, one thing that I did notice yesterday about the website is rather than put out all the information on Twitter during the game, they put it out on their own website. So they had their own Twitter feed on their website, which was giving you the match. Now that is gone this morning, it's disappeared. I can't find it anywhere on the site. But yesterday, rather than putting everything out on Twitter like they usually do, the timelines of the game, they put the majority out through their own website. Now, I understand that Celtic are trying to create an Amazon-like or Netflix type thing where you go to watch everything on their platform and they control the narrative of everything. But you need to make sure that you invest the right money into that. And as it looks just now, um, don't know. It's not good, Celtic. It really isn't good. Now, I didn't want to start the video off with this morning, but it really got our backs up yesterday. And I spoke to other clubs around Spain, and they had the same issue. I went online to Twitter, and there was lots of people all around the world having the exact same issue. Now, new Celtic TV website, same shite service. Sort yourself out, said Celtic, says one guy, and another guy, same probs. Celtic TV, for good's sake, and showing the uplink. We will be back shortly. Ryan Doggett says, my Celtic TV in Australia when the penalty was awarded. Uplink, we will be back shortly. It's just not good enough. And there's a supporters club. I hate Celtic TV. And many supporters around the world gather in these supporters clubs and they have to pay a yearly fee. And if Celtic really need to get their finger out with this, the Celtic need to come out and I'm not saying make a statement, but they need to come out and say something. It's just not good enough when you've got supporters clubs around the world paying for this. The quality of broadcasting of Celtic, and who were the young guys that were on it? Jesus, it's like they've obviously spent too much money in the football department and they went, oh, we need to reduce the quality of the presenters and stuff on Celtic TV. Anyway, Celtic, the quality of the broadcasting of Celtic TV is scandalous. I live in Australia and cannot attend games. I buy the merch, I subscribe, and so that I'm able to see Celtic FC. Get some professionals in because it's not good enough. 4 times during the match did this uplink. We will be back shortly. Come onto our screens. Now there was hundreds more. I'm not going to go through them all because it would take up the whole video. Anyway, we move on from that. It was a fantastic day yesterday. Brendan Rodgers thought so, and some of the players took to Instagram after the game. Kasper Schmeichel was one. Greg Taylor was one. Uh, Good to be back after the break, says Greg Taylor. And Jamesy Forrest was given a 500 shirt by Brendan Rodgers. And one thing that you wouldn't have maybe seen it on TV, but the Hearts goalkeeper walked up to the halfway line to applaud James Forrest. Obviously, they were in the same invincible team, and he'll be hoping that Celtic maybe don't become invincibles this season. And on a side note, just because I see young Toby, and I watched the Dunfermline Raith Rovers game on Friday night. What a game that was! And what a couple of goals for Dunfermline. And I thought young Toby played absolutely brilliant. And there was one point during the commentary where they were talking about young Toby and the way that he was playing as a goalkeeper. Now, he is a Celtic goalkeeper on loan. That's why I'm talking about him in this game. And the commentators were asking, is young Toby playing the way he is because of the influence of Joe Hart and the Celtic training? Because he played pretty much the way that Schmeichel played for Celtic yesterday. He came out the box, he made himself part of the team, and they weren't used to that at Dunfermline, the commentators were saying. So it was interesting to see this the way that Celtic have trained the young guy, and he's obviously taken that into his game at Dunfermline. And I thought he actually done really well. I thought he done really well. So good on the young lad, and let's hope that he can come back to Celtic in a year's time and be our number 3 goalkeeper. Anyway, um, let's get to Brendan Rodgers and see what Brendan Rodgers had to say about the game yesterday.
When you look at it, I think the rules is pretty clear. I think both were grappling. Ball comes over, and ball comes down onto his sleeve, shoulder. So I think in everyone's book that's not a penalty, but you want it. You want it, so I can understand that. And then likewise, the law tells you if you're out of what would be the silhouette of your body and your arms are up and it hits you, then that is a penalty. I thought the referee was and the officials did really well in those two moments. The referee done very well. He's made the decision. The people in the VAR have looked at it. Okay, but just because one doesn't get one doesn't shouldn't mean the other doesn't get one. They both by the letter of the law were penalty. One was a penalty, one wasn't. I think when you
And so, as you'd expect, Stevie David Smith had a bit of a meltdown yesterday when it came to the game. And who really cares about Naismith, to be honest? Because I think the quicker he takes Hearts down and gets them relegated, it's going to be even funnier towards the end of the season. So let's talk about the game yesterday. I thought Kyogo, when he was through one-on-one with the keeper at the beginning of the game, I thought he should have scored that. I think he was a little bit off the boil at the start of the game yesterday. When Adam Eder came on, the one and only Lewis Palma again is offside, even though he had his back to the the goal. He's still in an offside position, which is disappointing from the lad. He needs to really up his game. His international manager's bemoaning the fact that he's not getting enough game time. Yet he's getting caught in the offside position. And the manager, the Celtic manager, will be looking at Brendan Rodgers, will be looking at it and saying, that was a perfectly good Adam Idah goal. It was a fantastic goal by Adam. But it all goes because a player in the middle of the park was offside. Anyway, I thought Kyogo did some fantastic things yesterday, but in front of goal, I just think he was just that little bit off. Anyway, young Luke scored a goal, and so did Arnie Engels from the penalty spot. It was interesting to see Rio Hatate grab the ball. Rio Hatate, what's your thoughts on Rio Hatate this morning? Because he got dropped. He kept his place rather than Paulo Bernardo, which I thought was interesting, considering, remember this, that Paulo Bernardo scored for the Portuguese under-21s. Now, he is the Portuguese under-21 captain, and he did score during the week, whilst Rio Hatate flew to the other end of the world to not even play a game. For me, I think Brendan Rodgers picked what he thought was the best team, but personally, I would have went with Paulo Bernardo all day long because he's the player that's been in form. Let's face it, he has been in form. And it was a big call by Brendan. Tell me what you think about that in the comments. Anyway, the Naismith meltdown. Yes, the Hearts boss Naismith wasn't happy with the use of VAR during the Celtic game yesterday, even though the penalty allowed Engels to score. And look, Brendan Rodgers said, look, it's hard for Stephen because he knows the first goal is important in these games. If it goes to them, then Hearts have got something to hang on to. If it goes to us, then it's a climatic change in their tactics. Tactics which seen Hearts sitting with 5 and 6 at the back at points yesterday. A lot of people were going for big scoring goals yesterday. I said for 4-0. I was way off the mark. There were some crazy scorelines up at the pub also, people going for 5 and 6. I kind of knew that Hearts had to try and, if you thought about it realistically, Hearts had to try and not lose that game yesterday for the manager because he is on a sticky wicket, being down at the bottom of the table, which I love, absolutely love it. Anyway, when you look at the rules, it's pretty clear. It says Brendan Rodgers, both were grappling with the ball, come over. I well know what it is. It is what it is. He just needs to stop his greeting face, if you ask me. Did VAR do the job that it was meant to do yesterday? More than likely, yes, but you'll have the current buns and the Save Conian say, not a chance, it's all for Celtic, it's all for Celtic. There were some refereeing decisions, you're like, what is he actually thinking? But anyway, it is what it is. Celtic got the points, they still sit top of the league. I'll probably do a live later on this afternoon or this evening, so make sure you join us for that. And on that note, truly, with no cutouts at all, there's been no blips and no. Oh, that it didn't cut out at all, did it? Have a fantastic day, Celtic fans all around the world. Sort your shout, Celtic, with that Celtic TV.